We all know the famous friendship-leading pony, Princess Twilight Sparkle. We followed her journey through the whole Friendship is Magic franchise, but what about Princess Cadance? The question here is, why was Princess Cadance not chosen to rule Equestria? We all know that when Twilight and Cadance finally reunited at her wedding, Twilight was still a normal unicorn. This means Cadance would have been chosen to be a princess long before Twilight, given that when she babysat, Cadance was already an alicorn. This would have implied that Cadance already had a lot more princess experience than Twilight does, so why wasn't Cadance chosen to rule Equestria instead of Twilight? I think Cadance wasn't chosen to rule Equestria because she already has so many responsibilities in the Crystal Empire. Princess Cadance and Shining Armor rule over the Crystal Empire together, and they have a child now too. With all these important responsibilities of keeping an empire safe and secure, especially after experiencing slavery from King Sombra, they aren't ready to risk leaving in case something like this happens again. And although Shining Armor's magic is powerful, it is not powerful enough to defend an entire empire alone like an alicorn's magic could. If Cadance had been chosen to rule over all of Equestria, she'd most likely be given two options. 1. Move to Canterlot with Shining Armor and Flurry Heart, or 2. Move to Canterlot alone and leave the empire with only Shining Armor and Flurry Heart. This could be catastrophic for the Empire. Although Flurry Heart's magic is extremely powerful, it is also dangerous, and she's not old enough to use it yet in a safe manner, which will end badly if any threats come for the Empire. Although, I can imagine if Cadance had left the Crystal Empire with her family, an amazing new 2 ponies would be chosen to do the job. With Twilight and her friends solving problems over pretty much all of Equestria, I believe Starlight, Glimmer, and Sunburst would have been chosen to take care of the Crystal Empire. Starlight and Sunburst are always more powerful together, and this means that they would both be amazing at defending the Crystal Empire. This would mean that Cadance and her family could move to Canterlot and rule over Equestria, while the Crystal Empire would still be in good hands and remain safe. If it did come to pass that Starlight and Sunburst ended up taking over the Crystal Empire, Starlight would have had to be turned into an alicorn, which just means one more princess in Equestria. Now what does this scenario look like? Cadance and Shining Armor would move to Canterlot and rule Equestria together, and I think Princess Luna would give Shining Armor some of her magic, so Cadance doesn't have to handle raising the moon and the sun by herself. Ponyville would stay the same, and Twilight and her friends would still be going on missions around Equestria while the school remains with Twilight as head mayor, implying that most likely nothing in Ponyville would change. The only thing that would be different is that Starlight would be leaving Ponyville to live in the Crystal Empire as an alicorn princess and reign over the Crystal Empire with Sunburst by her side. To me, this situation seems pretty likely, but I can fully understand why Twilight was chosen to rule over Equestria. I personally think it would have made more sense to have Cadance as the new official ruler instead, though. What do you think about this theory? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys next week. This has been Dolly MLP. Thanks for watching.